Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers, Cyberverse, Power of the Spark, Elite Class, Grimlock, and his Spark Armor, Trash Crash. And here they are in their alt modes. And they're both looking pretty cool. Pretty cool looking alt modes. Trash Crash here we'll put off to the side. And I will focus my attention now on Grimlock. And here he is in his iconic alt mode, which is a robotic T-Rex. And I gotta say, this is a pretty neat looking T-Rex mode. Very nice. It's very heavily inspired by his G1 interpretation. So this is more like a stylized version of it. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad. And this is a beast mode. It has articulation. So articulation wise, his little T-Rex arms are on ball joints. His dino legs are also on ball joints, and he does have a bend in the knee. However, it bends forward, and only forward. As you see, you can't really bend it backwards like it's supposed to. So yeah, he has a forward-facing knee, which is very weird, especially since the Shockwave figure, that one's knees can bend, I think, in both directions. Well, not his knees, but his arms, because these will eventually become his robot arms. But I'm just wondering why they didn't add that hinge here where he could just bend in both directions. Just weird. I feel that's like the one major issue I have with this Dino mode is the fact that the knees only bend forward. But that aside, it's still a pretty decent figure. Tail doesn't really move. It's all like one huge chunk. Oh, and the last bit of articulation is that the head and mouth can open and close, with the head and lower jaw being on their own separate hinges. So yeah, overall it's a pretty decent dino mode. Not half bad, not half bad. Now let's get on with his transformation, which starts off by you popping off this entire piece like so. You pop that off. And then you come back here and you separate, you split the tail, flip them up, and then you start splitting this entire assembly. And then you fold it out. Let me lift this up a bit because he's gonna get a little bit taller. So you've exploded him like so. The next step would be to fold up the jaw down, fold the T-Rex arms into itself like so. No specific way, just gotta make sure they're sort of tucked in here in some way. And then you start folding up. You fold up each dino leg, fold the upper half in, and then you're able to, there you go. You peg this into here like so, and then this piece you connect into there. So you push it until you hear a click. There you go. And then other leg, repeat the same process. In there, push it in to hear the click. And then you have his lower legs. And then you fold out the arms. And then for this part, you pop open this chest and flip around to reveal his head sculpt, his head. Then next up, you flip out his hands. And there we have it. There we have Grimlock in his robot mode. And here's a close-up at his head, and it's pretty cool. Apparently, this is what we see here is his battle mask form, which I think looks really cool. I've never really seen the show. I don't know if I really want to, but from what I've seen from the pictures is that Grimlock is supposed to have a regular mouth, so this is his battle mask, which is neat. I think the battle mask looks a lot cooler. It reminds me a lot more of a G1 Grimlock, which is what this is heavily inspired on. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent looking Grimlock. And it's about deluxe class size. So articulation, weird segue, but not into articulation. The head can rotate 360, so it can swivel. Arms are on ball joints and bend forward at the elbow, and a little bit of wrist action if you really want to, although it's more for transformation. The legs, whoops. You're not supposed to pop that off, but the legs can go forward, back, out that much because of this plastic. Since this piece is in the way, you can only go that far, which is still not bad, and a bend at the knee. So yeah, he's got a pretty good amount of articulation. It's not bad. It's a pretty decent amount of articulation, so not bad. And that's pretty much it for Grimlock by himself. So let's bring out his Spark Armor, which is Trash Crash, which, as the name implies, is a garbage truck. And it's a pretty detailed garbage truck at that. It has quite a lot of details molded around. And as you notice, these pieces do flop around. These are his these are like weapons when he becomes the Spark Armor. Which, to get to that, is sort of both good and bad. Which will make sense when I get to it. To set this up, you fold that out. And then this piece you connect onto his back. Oh, and the Spark Armors are all compatible with each other, like with all other Elite figures. They're all compatible with each other. Although I think the Spark Armors that come with the figures, they're meant for that figure. But you can use this for any other Elite figure. So the next step is basically, it's one big automorph, which is not bad. I don't mind automorphs, but you'll see when I get to it, when I get a little further. So then you fold, sort of separate this a little bit. And then you holding this, bring this down all the way. Come on. There we go. There we go. You bring it down like so. And then you fold this back. Make sure everything's there. Whoops. Make sure everything's in place. It's a little finicky for me. I don't know if this is just my figure or what, but a little finicky. And the arms, I just kind of adjust them to make it look like his hands are part of these new arms. And then you make sure that this, there we go. There's like a pieces here that you have to sort of connect into place. And everything just falls in line. Come on. There we go. There we go. And then we have Trash Crash is Spark Armor, which looks really cool. However, as you can see, it's not really well connected into place. So any slight movement can kind of disengage it, which is sort of the big negative I have for this. I mean, it looks cool, but I don't like that it doesn't move. That I can't really show articulation because there is none. Any movement I do just disengages it. There we go. So unless I'm either doing something wrong, but I don't think I am. I think this is how it's supposed to be. It looks really cool. I like that these pieces now become these massive claws for him to use. Check out the head sculpt. It kind of looks like a Black Optimus Prime. However, you notice carefully, there is a Grimlock jaw at the bottom, and it is articulate. Darn it. As I was saying, it is articulated. So it does swivel, which is really nice. So yeah, that is the one negative I have with this, and this might be a deal breaker for some of you, but this figure in the armor, this Spark Armor, is very, very sensitive and doesn't really lock into place, and it also doesn't move. So just giving you the heads up now, the Spark Armor here is not that great. I like the alt mode, I like how it looks as armor, but when you start messing with it, it just flops around and you can't really move it. So essentially, when you have the Spark Armor equipped, don't expect to actually, mess around with the figure too much, because then it just disengages. So yeah, it's a pretty darn shame because I think this does look really cool. I think the orange and green complement like the gray and gold of Grimlock. And it just, like I said, it's a very cool design. Just a shame I can't really manipulate it. As of right now, the only other figure I have to compare this to that's Elite Class was that Bumblebee. And that one I thought was very well done because that Spark Armor you could like manipulate. It wasn't an automorph. So I don't know if the other figures of the Elite Class are also automorphs. Maybe they are, and that Bumblebee was like the exception, but yeah, I kind of wish they were all like the Bumblebee one where they just transform normally. So yeah, so my final thoughts on this thing is that it looks nice, but I wish the execution was a little better. So there you have it. I think Grimlock by himself is pretty cool. Here's some size comparisons. He gains quite a bit of size with the Spark armor, so there's that. Deluxe Ratchet, Legion Cliff Jumper. And yeah, overall, it's okay. I think the Grimlock figure's pretty good. The Spark armor is a little disappointing, especially since I felt that the Bumblebee one was so good. This one kind of pales in comparisons. It's okay. That's like the best I can give this. It's an okay figure. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Power of the Spark Elite Class Grimlock and his Spark Armor Trash Crash. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.